Da 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 da! What's my good cheer? Welcome, everybody. It's the first day of the job that puts the roof over my head in the moment. So I'm just going to send some gratefuls for that job because it does allow me to delve deep. It does allow me to make a little bit of movement for myself. Also, it gives me a little bit of space and a little bit of time to digest the lessons along the way so we don't make rash decisions, that we don't over jump ourselves, that if we absorb it properly and deduce at the word deduce for ourselves what is a truth and what is an untruth. You guys, hi, I'm Cindy. I explore the inside and the outside. And we've been picking a powerful word each week and working with that word Monday to Friday. And sometimes it hits, for the most part, it hits. Sometimes it doesn't hit. And those are the failures, those are the mistakes, and those are the opportunities where we can lift ourselves up, dust ourselves off, look at things in a different perspective, look at our surroundings and see what kind of adjustments we can make. Go inside of ourselves and look at and feel how we feel about the movement that we're making, right? Or the movement that we're not making. And lots of times you can find the lessons in that too. So today, when I was thinking about how we would look at this word, truth, our 43rd word, I thought we kind of better give a truth, right? And just start from there, right? Everybody likes the truth. There is so much hogwash out there. And necessarily, it's not hogwash for all, but for ourselves, right? We can feel it's not something that we're comfortable with. It's not something we should be wearing, right? And again, because we have that little bit of scheduled time, that little bit of routine that we set for ourselves, that each one of us get to, right, digest at our own pace. I thought I'd start with this word change because that is a truth. That is in it's inevitable that change would be a truth because it's something that is consistent. It's something that's happening all the time. And sometimes it's dictated by our thoughts, sometimes it's dictated by our actions, sometimes it's dictated by other people's thoughts and other people's actions, right? And, it's in those moments that we should be taking those breaths, right? And breathing it in and feeling it out and trying it on, right? And in that moment, we can decide, well, for another day, which most people do, right? I do it myself. Right? Why deal with that issue that we have right now, right? We've got bigger issues to deal with. There are bigger problems, even in my own life. In this moment, I'm finding myself dealing with different, and it's not a matter of dealing with that. It's taking my time, but it's taking my thought, it's taking my emotions, and it's riding those waves at all these things that are going on at the same time and making allowances, right? And taking my time in that digestion, right? It's just kind of that slow down, right? Slow down because we know sometimes that when we're thrown into it, the only way to come out the other end is to do that slow down, right? We keep moving. We're always moving forward. Change is happening even in our own environment in the moment, even with just the weather, the clouds setting in or the sun coming up, right? Whether that child's coming home from school and is ready for dinner, right? Your husband coming home and having his needs being taken care of because, right, he's done his share in possibly putting the roof over your head or, right, milk on the kids' cereals. But, right, take into consideration, I'm just saying because I'm a female and that's the wife, and right, it's that comparison game. But I am not that wife, right? But if I was, I would want to make sure that I was taking myself into consideration. And as the kids are screaming and the husband is coming home and, right, you're overboiling the pasta and you've dropped something on the floor and, right, there's a timer going off, right? These are the hairy scaries. This is the busy of our lives that, if we don't, and it's not like we necessarily have to physically and mentally slow down at the same time. Quite often I go at the same speed because nothing gets done unless I'm going at that same speed. But in my mind, I've slowed it down, right? In my mind, I'm looking for solutions. I am looking at possibilities. I'm daydreaming for the future, right? I'm compounding those goals that I have, right? Change is always happening. We are always riding those waves, but sometimes we want to control those waves. Sometimes we want to dictate the direction that those waves are going in. We want to dictate our surroundings, right? We want to control what's coming in and we want to control what's going out. But in those moments of hairy, scary, quite often we get all jumbled up in ourselves. And that's why I talk quite often about untangling the wires, untangling in those thoughts that belong to Cindy and the job that she's going to put her energy in for the next few days. And that's Cindy and those other parts of Cindy who's going to come in at the end of the night all tired, right? Optimistically, pleasantly tired and pleased with the effort. But there's no guarantees in that. Change is consistent and of course because I ride those waves with others, right? I can only control my actions. I can't control the actions or the thoughts or the feelings of others. I just can't. Right? I've got to slow down and I've got to make that movement and that understanding for myself. And I have to, right? Make sure that movement is going on. Anything extra is extra. And you can throw those lines out. Or as you're making that movement, you can just kind of scoop along, scoop along the way, which I tend to do, right? Coming in live every day, right? Wanted to look at this word change because change is a truth. It's something that is consistent. It's something that's never ending. Right? And it's something that impacts us, not just day to day, week to week, year to year, but moment to moment. And sometimes it's just a matter of getting through that moment, right? Getting through that moment of change without overstepping ourselves. And hello, Melvin. I got into such a spiel last time you were in. I just failed even to say hi to you, dear. I'm glad that you popped in and I had an opportunity to say hi today. Oh my goodness. Okay. My good cheer is that I got finished rolling crops for a farmer I work for every spring. Good money and easy work. Well, that's fantastic. And I hope you're going to celebrate in that somehow. I'm right. You never know. You might have that, not that same job, but a similar job tomorrow that's going to keep you in that flow. But never fail to recognize a job well done, even if you're just coming in here to toot that horn. Good job, Melvin. Right? Good job. Easy money. And did you enjoy that work? Looking out at the fields, listening to whatever tunes you were listening to on the radio, looking out at the blue sky, breathing in that grain dust. Right? I'm just using my imagination, but I don't know how many of those I hit on correctly, but oh, wonderful, wonderful. Oh, amazing. Right? But knowing you, Melvin, you would have done the job just as good, even with those cataracts. Melvin just had cataracts removed, and he's really enjoying his eyesight, right? But that's change, right? And that change came from a decision he made, right? Making a decision and moving into that decision, right? Like I said, sometimes we control the change ourselves by our thoughts and our actions. Sometimes that wrench is thrown into our life by other circumstances. And I know for myself, if I don't make movement in the direction that I know I'm supposed to be making movement in, those wrenches are coming at me, not going in the engine. They're coming at me right, right and left, right? And change comes, and change comes. But sometimes, if you make that change before those wrenches start flying at you, you can kind of deter the direction that they're going to be missing you, right? Those wrenches might miss you because you got a little bit ahead of the game, right? You took in a few lessons, you did the prerequisite, you paid attention, right? Ah, wow, you do have it made, Melvin. You do have it made, right? Congratulations on a job well done. Easy money, right? Now, right? Appreciate yourself by exerting a little bit of energy into something else, right? If that was so easy, right? If that was so easy, maybe you have a little bit of energy left over, right? To get your own gardening done, wash the truck down, make yourself some dinner, right? Have yourself a shower, put on your pajamas, relax, get ready to do it tomorrow. That's all change. That's all stuff that happens by making decisions and making movements towards it, right? And lots of us, we don't like change. We don't like change at all, right? You'd much rather sit at home in the same pajamas all week long, not change your socks or your underwear, not make a major decision in any way, right? This saying that I used to say all the time when I used to go down to the mailbox, I don't do it anymore because, right? I try to stay on top of my responsibilities to the best of my abilities. I'm not perfect. I'm nowhere's close to perfect. I do baby steps, but I am so much better than what I was. And I remember I used to go down to the mailbox and I would say, no news is good news. Because if there was a bill, right, it would be something to stress about. It would be something to worry about. It would be something to make a choice to pay or not pay. And for the most part, for myself, right, why do today what you can put off tomorrow? And that was the person that I used to be, right? Things are moving in my life, right? And things are moving in the lives of the characters that are surrounding me, right? In those close proximities that, I wake up in the morning and give thought to, and I go to bed at night, and I also give thought to, knowing that, right? Even my thoughts can create change. I do believe that. I see that out in the world for myself and my own, right? And it's the kind of like the evidence for myself just to keep moving, to keep trying, right? Knowing that it's in this heart, it's in my intent to do well. I don't always get it right? Because I'm making these choices and I'm making these movements half heartedly sometimes, with blinders on sometimes, and sometimes in my own tiredness and lack of energy, but knowing that I've got to do it anyway, right? Because right. That's just my makeup, but I just keep understanding that, I just feel it with my heart. And I know that I do make movement, and it's always with good intent for myself and good intent with others, right? And like I said, I can only control my own thoughts, I can only control my own actions. And I can just leave it at that, knowing that everything is going to be okay. Otherwise, I just pay attention to that, right? Make my movement. I'll get my course corrections along the way, right? Give myself a little bit of space to move slowly, if I move at all, right? Because sometimes we move too rashly. Sometimes we make those decisions too fast. Sometimes we call it being triggered, right? And then that's in a cause and effect kind of situation, right? I move in baby steps, but I move because I understand change is always happening. And I'm just going to leave it at that, you guys. I've got a few minutes to do a thumbnail, off to work, put my best foot forward, right? And understand that there are only some things that I can control, right? And if I can make some movement in that, if I feel that it's for the betterment of myself or those characters in my vicinity, in my surroundings, that I can make a difference in that, a positive difference, right? Who am I to judge? And who is anybody else? Okay, you guys, that's my good cheer, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much, Melvin, for popping in. And for those of you who pop in later, I hope you're having an amazing day.